Welcome everyone. I am so excited to be here. And I know what I tried to do before I started this is to get into a handstand, because today we're going to talk a lot about balance, but I was worried it would result in an injury. So instead I decided to a single leg yoga pose. And my goal is for this entire podcast is to stay on one leg. Now I'm not going to stay in this position because I look stupid. I'm just going to go, but I'm going to stay on one leg. And you notice I'm in heels. That's my challenge, and I'm going to give my guest star today, Alexis, a challenge as well, but I need to think carefully what that will be. But welcome, everyone. I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to have a reason to wear sunglasses now because the sun is shining. Our days are getting longer, and COVID is gradually going away, and we're here to help you be the fittest, strongest, and all those things by the time the summer solstice comes. So, Alexis, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Now, the exciting thing that Alexis was telling me was that today is her actually 8-year anniversary. So you've been at Performance Physical Therapy for 8 years.
Yes, I can't believe it. It seems like yesterday, but yeah, today is 8 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. There's a lot of crazy things, and this last year has been especially crazy for many reasons. Tell us, Alexis, how have you managed to get through the last year and actually still look and sound as beautiful and healthy as you did before the pandemic? Any new pastimes you took up, any habits? Like, how did you manage to get through the pandemic?
Yeah, I will say it was definitely very challenging. I have been a pretty avid exerciser since I was 15, very regimented. My first job was at a gym. My mom managed a gym. I was, after work, you go to the gym and you just get it done. It's just like brushing your teeth. So, having my gym close, and then even when it did open, so I had to find a way to work out without having that regimen. So finding a way to make out home workouts work. And then saying, all right, well, you know what? I think I'm going to stick with this. I actually like the flexibility of working out at home. And that actually is really, I don't think I'll ever go back to a gym. Nothing wrong with gyms. Just me personally, I set up such a great space at home that I feel like I'm working out now more than I was before. So that is actually a really great spot that came for me out of this pandemic. Just really a great home gym setup. And yeah.
Isn't it interesting how the environment changes your interest in something? So you mentioned to me, like, I'm sure all the things you did in your gym that you could have done at the gym or you could have done at home before, but you say, I set up a space.
Yes. Yeah.
A little bit about your headspace and why having a certain space in your house dedicated to exercising and setting up that environment can actually help your motivation and help you follow through.
Yeah, I love that. So I had before a yoga mat. It was in a closet, and then I had a couple of random hand weights, and I had a resistance band here. And so when all this came, I said, all right, I have to get a space where all of this will live. And when I go there, because, I was using a bunch of different apps. So deciding whether I was going to do strength training or a HIIT cardio class, or it'll all live here. And then I won't have to be searching for things, but also clearing your head. And there was so much going on when all of this happened. I was watching the news and just like a lot of stress. So I knew that I could go, and it's in my basement. I have a full basement, but I could go there and just kind of be there and focus on what I wanted to do that day. I felt like that was really helpful. Remove yourself from the TV. Don't have the TV on. Give yourself that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you have. That was really helpful for me to have like that safe workout space.
I like that. And you're kind of bringing up something which we've spoken about before, and that's almost that mindful part to it. I mean, yes, you're exercising and there's obviously benefits to that, but you're also adding to it with that escape from all the other crap in the world that you're having to deal with.
Yes, yeah.
So for people out there who are listening, please post your questions. This is a great opportunity for Alexis to be stumped and put on the spot and not know how to answer something. So please make the most of this opportunity. In addition, if you tell us who you are and where you are, you will go into a drawing Today we are giving away, let's see what it is. We are giving away some wireless noise cancelling earbuds and a PPT hat. Now, it's not going to be this one because you will get your very own one, but what's better than this look for when you're headed out into these sunny days?
I love my hat, my PPT hat.
Oh, my PPT hat too. So, yeah, please put something in the comments. In addition, you can go to performanceptri.com/live, which is below. I'm not doing a very good job of pointing in the right direction, but you can also sign up for these podcasts and you will go into every week's drawing. So again, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from your questions. Alexis is really one of our key experts here at Performance Physical Therapy when it comes to something called exercise is medicine. This is a virtual class that was truly launched because of the pandemic to give people access to the ability for some guided motivation to include exercise into their routines. Oh, it's nice to have someone here, Jennifer Barnes. Thank you. I am pleased that you're here. And Jennifer has a question for you. Working out ever since I'm working from home, do you have any suggestions for how to keep a routine once I return? Great question.
That is a great question. And thank you, Jen Barnes, for being here. And I think it's just like anything else. You have to set that time. And whether you use a planner or I put everything in my phone, my appointments. So I think it's really important that when you are returning to the office and your commute is longer and your day is longer, schedule it like you would any other appointment. So whether it's before work, make that appointment for yourself. So it might require getting up a half hour early, but put it in because you won't break an appointment with yourself. So, well, hopefully not, especially if it's about exercise. And if you're already in the routine, it's going to be that much easier. So whether you schedule it in your phone or you write it down in your planner before or after work, the hardest part is just getting there. So I find that when I have my workout clothes on, once you hit play or once you're outside walking, that's the hardest part. You've done that part. So the rest is just following through. So I think making sure that you're scheduling it in, even plan the whole week, look, oh, I have my kids practice here, or I have a dentist appointment here. I'm going to schedule it in at 3:30 on Thursday, but Friday morning, I have some extra time. So I'll do it Friday morning. So make those appointments with yourself, hold yourself accountable and get a buddy. Jen Barnes is actually one of my best friends and my workout buddy, and she holds me accountable. There are days where I look at can you see it? My Apple Watch? No. And she did a killer workout. And I'm like, you know what? I have to get up there and move my butt. So accountability and scheduling with yourself, I think are really great keys to kind of help you stay consistent, even when returning into the office.
Great points. How about Lorraine out here? Lauren or Lorraine, I apologize if I said your name incorrectly. Surely one of those times was correct. What if you haven't been exercising? You've talked about some great tips to maintain exercise, especially as you change your environment, going back to work, things like that. What about for those who need to start?
Yeah. And so that is Lauren, and so that's a really great question too. And I think finding something that you like to do. So we all know if you hate to run, don't say I'm going to run 3 days a week. It might not be the exercise that you like to do. And it might take some trial and error. It might be kickboxing. It might be yoga. It might be, on a rower. It might be walking your daughter in the stroller. Do something that you actually like. Don't do it because you think it's what you need to be doing. And when you find something that you like, at least that's what works for me, it doesn't seem like such a chore. You put on good music, you listen to a podcast, something that's going to keep you motivated. You watch something on your iPad. If you're excited to do it, it won't seem so awful when you have to do it. So it might take some time figuring out what you're going to enjoy to do, but play around, see if you can find that. And then again, it won't be an awful thing when you say like, all right, I'm going to work out. You're going to be excited and motivated to do it.
It's a great point. And, I'm reading an interesting book at the moment. And the fact of the matter is, us as human beings, we're not made to exercise. We're not made to want to exercise. So when you hear people going like, woohoo, it's so fun to go for a run, I can assure you that they're really lying. Now, they're not really lying. But it's not the actual running they love. What they're saying is that they have learned how to enjoy being outside and looking at the house and gardens, or they like the solitude and listening to music, or they like hanging out with their friend and going for a run. They like how they feel afterwards. So for anyone who's out there going like, I just don't like to exercise, I can assure you that we're inherently bred not to like exercise. We're hunters and gatherers. We want to rest and store energy. So the people who enjoy exercising, they've found things that they enjoy about it. So I sometimes just think it's just another way to look at it. And Alexis, you keep saying it. You've got to find something you like, because if you don't like it, you will not maintain it. Yeah. And that's what this is all about, is finding something you enjoy. And at the end of the day, life's too short to spend your time doing something that you don't like doing. So, look at all the ways you can find something you enjoy doing. Some other great questions here. Nicole Mulligan, what a nice compliment. You look beautiful. What is your motivation? What keeps you going?
Oh, that is very sweet, Nicole. My motivation, you know what? Oh, gosh, there's so many different things that motivate me. But I think in general, overall well-being. I feel better when I'm exercising. I feel like I move better. My body doesn't ache as much when you find yourself, and everyone gets in those ruts, whether you're not exercising as much and things are a little bit tighter, and it has nothing to do with what's on the scale. It just is how you feel. So I feel better when I move my body. I'm usually doing it 6 days a week, taking 1 day of rest. And that rest day might just be an easy walk. But I feel like just how exercise makes me feel motivates me. And I'm Italian, and I like to eat a lot of food. And I will never sacrifice a pasta dinner or a big cannoli. If you know me, I love cannolis. And say like, oh, I can't eat that. I'm going to eat it all. I'm going to have the cake. And, maybe I eat it in moderation and I don't eat pounds of it, but I'm always going to have the pasta. So I'm never going to deprive myself, but I'm always going to move my body.
It is one of those things, the motivation, it's always a hard thing for everyone. But I think that brings up that mindful part again. Like, you're mindful, that when you exercise, when you feel well, you're happier, you feel better. You're in control of actually how you feel, and exercise is one of your tools to make sure you do it. Yeah. And then you can enjoy cannoli and pasta.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, who would ever want to give that up? I can't.
I'm actually not a fan of cannolis. They don't do a lot for me.
Oh, I love them.
I don't know if it's because I didn't grow up with them, or I just haven't really, developed a taste. Give me chocolate and give me a glass of wine a day. But
that too. I do it all. I love it all. There really is not much I don't eat or drink.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Yeah. It's all about balance, though. Balance, I think, is important.
It is about balance. And we're going to go to balance in just a moment. By the way, I'm still standing on one foot.
Very impressive, Michelle.
It's not that impressive, but I appreciate your compliment, Alexis. We've got some more questions here, so I'd love to answer these. Alan Murphy, I'm getting started on a routine at home, but I don't have the space. Okay. Any ideas on how to organize and create a space that will help me stay focused and motivated?
Yeah, good question. Ellen, thanks for writing in. So, so it depends on having, if I know Ellen has 2 young kids, so her space is probably filled with a lot of her kids' things. So maybe a great idea would everything that you need, if you designate like a nice bin to it. So it doesn't have to be out all the time. You roll up a yoga mat, you put your weights, you put your bands in that bin. So if you don't have a lot of space, it can travel with you as the weather's getting warmer. Take that bin, put it on your deck. If you have 5 minutes and you can lock yourself in your bedroom, take that bin and bring it up to your bedroom with you. So you don't always have to have a designated space, but I should say you should have everything you need for a great workout in something that you can pick up and take with you.
It's a great idea. I actually like that myself. I use it a lot. I think there's something about a yoga mat, or you could use a towel.
Yeah.
I know that when I have that mat out, whether it's in front of a TV when my kids are watching a movie, or whether it's in my basement, it's my little sacred space of where I'm going, know that I'm going to be doing some yoga and some core work and some push-ups.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Alexis, do you have suggestions for simple exercise? This is Rebecca Lynn, and you've only got 5 to 10 minutes. Let's do it right now. Yes, you could be at work. You could have, a spare 10 minutes when you get home from work before you're going to a meeting. Well, what would you do? What would be your top 3 exercises that you had 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah. So I always like getting your heart rate up. This is going to be one of them. And thanks for the question, Rebecca. That's a great question. Getting your heart rate up. So jumping jacks. You don't need, jumping rope is great, but if you don't have a jump rope, great. You can do jumping jacks for a minute, really get your heart rate up. So something for cardiovascular. So something like a jump rope, high knees, butt kick, something that you could do there. And then, I love a good squat. It's going to get so many of your lower body muscles in there, really activating a lot of your glutes and your hamstrings. So a squat is great. And then something for your upper body. You want to keep, especially I know Rebecca has 2 young kids. So you want to keep your upper body nice and strong. Push-ups are great. Michelle, you talked about push-ups before. And you don't feel like if you can't start on the ground in a full push-up, they're progression. So start against a wall. Get strong there and then move against a table. And then from there, you can go on to modified push-ups. So definitely an upper body exercise, a lower body, and then something that's going to get your heart rate up.
I like that combination. And I like the fact that you mentioned the heart rate component to it. I think this comes under those principles of HIIT training or high intensity intermittent training. And there's lots of science out there to show that if we can quickly get our heart rate up to a higher level and getting it down, this is really good for our cardiovascular health. You don't have to have it high for long amounts of times, but those intermittent bouts that really challenge the heart and cardiovascular system have a lot of health benefits. The upper body, lower body, the amount that we carry things or lift things or go up and down stairs is a lot less than, we've got baby carriers and trolleys and wheelie suitcases. Like, we don't functionally have to use the muscles in our bodies nearly as much as what we did in the past. So hence why it's important that we do utilize those strengthening exercises.
Yeah.
Joni Corwin has a good question. Let's talk about stretching and then we'll get into some balance stuff. How long should you spend in each stretch and how many times should you repeat the stretch?
Well, that is a great question. Thanks. A shout out to my mother. Happy Mother's Day. That is my mother.
I always love it when I have mother. We've had mothers join these podcasts. We should actually make a Mother's Day podcast. And Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday.
Yes.
We answer the question, Alexis, what are you doing with your mom or for your mom on Mother's Day?
Yeah, so we will have a brunch at my house. My husband and I will host a brunch Sunday morning, and my brother and his wife and my niece will come over. And then, so we'll spend the morning there. And then in the afternoon, we'll go see my mother-in-law, Linda. So yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Wait, now I forgot what Joni's question was. Sorry, Mom.
All about how long should you
yes. Great question.
Times. Yeah.
So generally, you could spend 20 minutes on stretches, but generally if you're doing something before an activity or after an activity, 3 times each stretch, holding for about 30 seconds is a good round number to kind of keep it at.
Yeah. And I would say to people, like, also know your body. If you feel like the stretch feels good, like, oh, this feels good, like, you're not going to hurt yourself for holding it for longer.
Exactly.
So hold it for longer. If you're like, oh, this feels good, I needed this, then you can hold it for longer. But if you feel like, oh, I don't have 30 seconds to spare and I'm trying to actually warm up before I do an activity, then you do want shorter, more dynamic stretches.
Right.
Yeah, we've got some science there, but there's still a lot that depends on how you feel and being aware of that. Chris Burt, thank you. We love you too. I really appreciate it when someone gives us compliments and we hear the great stories about how someone is doing better because of the help we gave them and got you back to your normal life. That is awesome. And Christy Guerrero, we love you, Alex. Christy, that Alexis loves you too.
Oh, I do love you, Christy.
So let's jump onto some balance. I'm still standing on one leg and the bottom of my foot's starting to feel a little tingly and numb, but I'm going to do that. I promise. Tell us about yoga, balance. I mean, yoga is just a form of exercise, or it's, whether you call it exercise or not, it can be called different things, that incorporates a lot of balance activities or balance moves. Why is it important for us to incorporate balance into our weekly routines?
Yeah, I love that. So I love balance. And I think the easiest way I try to explain people, no matter what age you are, when we were younger, think about all the things we did. I mean, I played hopscotch, you're hopping, you're jumping, you're doing all these things that require you to be on one foot and moving quickly. As we tend to get older, we tend to be more cautious. We think, oh, that's going to cause us to fall, and I can't do that the way I used to. So we tend not to challenge ourselves in those positions because we're afraid of the outcome. You know, if I do fall, what will come of it? So I think people wind up, you know, losing track and not focusing on their balance as much as we did when we were younger. And then they realize it sometimes when it might be a little bit too late. So if you're already practicing yoga, I think that's great. So much of yoga, you are incorporating balance into it, even without even knowing. And if you're not practicing something like yoga, I think no matter what age you are, incorporating balance activities into, whether you're doing them before or after during your stretches, is a great way to incorporate it into your workout. But it's so easy, but so beneficial to really make sure that you're using these balance activities, simple ones too. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be handstands and headstands, just something as simple as standing on one foot and playing with arm variations, things like that. Really important to work into your routine.
Do you want to show us a couple of the exercises that you do for your exercises medicine class? So for those here, Alexis Williams hosts our exercises medicine class. It's a virtual platform where we have groups of people going through a variety of exercises. It keeps people motivated because they come together. It's on their schedule, so they know they're going to show up. Alexis makes it fun and interesting and very real and functional, and covers from stretching, strengthening, a little cardiovascular balance, like all the different components that will help someone be the healthiest they can be. So maybe you can give us, our listeners, an idea of a couple of easy balance you can do at home.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and point the camera down. So one of my favorite ones I like to do with people, especially if you're starting and you're a little unsure about standing on one leg, is we call this tandem stance. So putting one foot in front of the other. Can you guys see that okay?
That's perfect.
Yeah. So putting one foot in front of the other is going to challenge your balance just standing here. Now, if you get into this position, and I tell my participants, this is really easy for you, close your eyes. Make sure you have something to hold on to just in case, a wall, a chair. But when you close your eyes, you're going to say, oh yeah, that's a little bit more challenging. So having one foot in front of the other is a really simple balance exercise you can do, even if you're like washing dishes or doing household chores. It's a kind of an easy one to start with. And then if you're like, oh, wow, well, that's really easy. Well, all right, what should we do next? So let's you can do, what Michelle is doing underneath the desk, which you probably can't see, but standing on one leg, so many different variations with that. So just standing on one leg, you can, just like with your tandem stance, close your eyes. That's going to make it more challenging. You also can, I'll move it up here, move your arms and legs, or I should say your arms, while you are in there. And then if you're like, ooh, that's really easy, you can, what we call, third position back in here, or I should say, bringing your leg back, and then you can bring it in front. I mean, there's so many different variations that you can kind of play with. It doesn't have to be super challenging. You can make it kind of easy and accessible, so it's easy for you to work into your routine.
I think that's a great point. I mean, I love to do balance things because I find it sort of fun and challenging, because sometimes you may lose your balance. And so it's fun to see how it evolves. And I always feel really good after I challenge my balance. I don't think people realize when you balance, you're getting a lot of co-contraction of all the muscles around your joints. And so it kind of helps, again, with circulation and stability. And I posturally feel good after doing balance things.
Yeah, I agree. Even if it's challenging, they'll always throw that challenge pose or that hard pose in yoga, and I'm like, oh my, I can't do that. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try. And sometimes you fall, and same thing in class. I say, you're going to lose your balance. That's okay. You're going to get back up and you're going to try it again. And then next week when we do it, or the week after, if we're doing that same exercise, you're going to be better at it. You can't just give up and say, I can't do it, so I'm not going to do it. You have to keep practicing.
Exactly. Balance is the whole use it or lose it. And last thing we want is people losing their balance and falling when they have lost their balance and on the snow and ice and fracturing a hip and things like that. That's what we're trying to avoid. Tamara Anxious has a question for us. And what a beautiful time of the year as the blossom is blooming to start a walking program to get healthier, especially for someone who's not in the best shape. But don't worry, Tamara. Do not beat yourself up. There's plenty of people who are not in the best shape. And, we want to start some walking, but if you want to do some stretches, what should someone do if they're saying, I'm just going to be walking and working on that? What stretches should they be doing?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for the question, Tammy. So a few basic stretches. I love a great hamstring stretch. Can be done in seated or in standing. And that's just your hamstring is the muscle that runs behind the leg here. So if you wanted to do a seated hamstring stretch, all you would do is extend your leg out. Usually like to say heel down, toe up. This is one of the stretches we do in our exercises medicine class, and just gently leaning forward. So getting a hamstring stretch in would be great. A calf stretch would be really great. Those are some of the larger muscle groups that we use. And that's your typical, if you're standing one leg behind the other, keeping that leg straight and kind of leaning into it. You probably can't see, but like that. And then just some nice deep breaths. Even postural wise, we use a lot of postural muscles. So it's not only just legs, but like taking your arms up and opening your chest up and standing up nice and tall, maybe squeezing those shoulder blades back to get ready to kind of, for the walk, to prepare to keep your body up nice and tall.
Great tips. And I think what I'm hearing is that, there's not a huge number of suddenly stretches you have to do. You can safely go out and walk. There's a few stretches that are really just there to optimize the mobility of those large muscles that you use. And, they're going to prevent injury and keep you in the best shape, make you feel good when you walk. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little drawing. We've got lots of people who have given us great questions and comments, and maybe one of these people will win our cancelling earbuds. So in the background, we've got someone going to join in and do a drawing. Sarah Wilson is here. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Today's winner is?
All right, today's winner is Amber Charette.
Excellent, Amber. Congratulations. We're so excited for you. We will reach out to you and get that to you. And let's see who's joining us next Thursday. Remember, those listening, every Thursday, 1 o'clock live, here we are. And next Thursday, we are joined by Dr. Jean-Paul Aracena Oliver. I love Jean-Paul. JP, lots of different names for him. We are giving away a PPT YETI RAMBLER, which is perfect for this warmer weather. So please join us. Jean-Paul works out of Pawtucket Clinic at Division Street Clinic in Pawtucket. So I look forward to having him join us. All right, Alexis, tell us. I always like to hear what people are listening to, watching, reading better, and it helps the audience figure out if they like you or not, because she listens to that or she doesn't. That you're watching or listening to that you would like to share, or reading. It could be read, watch, listen.
Okay. Let's see. I am watching. So me and my husband, we're big travelers. We love to travel. So obviously our travel has been very limited this past year. For our honeymoon, we went to Italy for 2 weeks a couple years ago. So we love Italy. So on CNN, Stanley Tucci, who's actually an actor, he's been in a bunch of movies. Both of his parents are from Italy, so he actually took this journey. I think it's called Searching for Italy, with Stanley Tucci, and he goes to all the different countries of Italy, and he not only explores the country, but again, it's through food. I love food too.
Does he eat pasta and cannelloni?
Yeah. So he goes to each country, explores the food there and why it is special to that region. So, you know, this cheese was made here because of the grass, and this is why this region is known for that. So I've been vicariously living through that to fill my travel hole in my heart that I've missed. But yeah, so if you haven't, and you know, you can check it out. I have it on demand. I think it's on Sunday nights, but you can type it in on demand and it pops up. It's really great if you are missing travel like I am.
Awesome. Where, if we could go on a trip now to anywhere in the world, where would that be other than Italy?
Oh gosh. Somewhere tropical. I'm in the need for something warm. So Turks and Caicos. That sounds great to me.
God, it does sound pretty good. Imagine if we go off to there right now.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What are you most looking forward to in the months to come?
Yeah, so I think just more warm weather. I am a very I feel like I'm fueled by the sunlight. So in the summer, we have a vegetable garden in our backyard. So I started planting seeds in the house. So my tomato plants are getting all nice and tall. So to spend some time outside gardening and being with friends and family now that things are, you know, getting back to the way that they used to be, just catching up on things that we've missed out on. So I think spending time outside, we love the beach. So heading to the beach, we're big beach goers, and yeah, spending time outside, definitely.
Well, Alexis, it has been great having you here today. You're giving us lots of great tips. I love it. I really appreciate the questions from everyone. Again, for the people listening, please feel free to sign up at performanceptri.com/live, because we'll put you in the drawings for those prizes, whether you're here or not every week. But you got to sign up. You got to be in to win, so they speak. And I look forward to seeing people next Thursday. But I'm going to leave it with Alexis to give us 10 seconds of tips. The stage is yours, Alexis.
All right. 30 minutes of moderate exercise, whatever it is. 10,000 steps a day. Move your body. You're going to drink half your body weight in water. This is 128 ounces. So drink lots of water and add balance to your exercise routine starting today.
Woohoo. Great job. Thanks, Alexis.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.